From Caesars, Southern Indiana, welcome to the 2025 Derby City Classic. Thank you very much, everybody. This is the 26th edition of the All-Around Pocket Billiards Championship, and once again, it's proudly sponsored by Diamond Billiard Products, Simonis Cloth, and Aramuth Pool Balls. And we'd also like to thank our associates from Master Chalk, Digital Pool, Outsville, and Tournament Direction by Bad Boys Billiards Productions. As we've told you all week, and will continue to do so, we have expanded our event from 9 days to 10. The 10th day will be this Sunday, and it's going to be Championship Sunday. All 3 division finals will take place on Sunday. We'll crown our 3 winners and our master of the table. We've already got 1 set of finalists in the bank pool division. That's Tony Chohan and Fedor Gorst. Neither with a rebuy. They'll have 1 set for the title on Sunday. Please be with us for that as well as the rest of the week. And we want to say thank you once again to everybody for helping make the Derby City Pool's most exciting event. Thank you very much. And let's get underway. We're going to play some 9-ball here to get us going. This is a WNT event. As a result, the players are allowed to use jump cues here in this event only. 400 began. There's still 400 left. I believe this is a round 2 match. So let's introduce our competitors from New Orleans. He's a former Derby City one-pocket champion, and he's also a 2-time U.S. Open one-pocket champion. And as I just mentioned, he's already into the bank pool final. Sponsored by Game Tight Apparel, Diamond, Digital Pool, and Buffalo Billiards. Please welcome T-Rex, Tony Chohan. His opponent's from Russia. He's no stranger to the DCC. He's also Chin. He holds a Derby City straight pool title. He's also a European 9-ball champion, known as the Siberian Express. Please welcome Ruslan Chinakhov. All right, guys, go ahead and lag if you would. For the break, your official timekeeper is Hugh Kringle. Your official photographer is Erwin Dionisio. Going to send it upstairs to the comm box to Mark Wilson and the freezer. Take it away.
I love the smell of chalk dust in the morning. We're coming to you from the ACCUSTATS Arena here at the 26th Annual Derby City Classic. I'm Mark Wilson, and our expert pro player commentator is Scott Frost. Scott, welcome aboard.
Thank you to have me, Mark.
Chohan and Chinakhov. I was looking out there earlier. I was thinking Tony might be going for like the Payne Stewart look, you know, with the long green shorts. He's ready for the Masters or something here.
Yeah, they told me I couldn't wear shorts yesterday.
Well, they're not really shorts. They do go a long way.
They're more like
they're very short, long
squirts.
pants. So, yeah. Chinakhov breaking, leading off here. Race to 9-ball. Chohan is in the finals of the bank pool tournament, so naturally the all-around the master of the table title is at stake for him. Like to have a deep run in the 9-ball. Figures to go pretty far in the 1 pocket.
Yeah, the master of the table is definitely on Chohan's mind. That's what this event will do to you if you're in the running for it. Trust me, it's impossible to get that award out of your mind.
And the bank pool is such a critical component. That's like the lead-off. You get the kind of the inside track if you can do well in the bank pool, which he's going to get first or second no matter what. Sunday, you'll be playing Fedor Gorst in the finals of that. T-Rex.
I don't know if there's a future going at this because of where the 2 is. It's locked up with the 9. That's why he's gone end rail to end rail. Can't see a piece of this 1, Mark. Actually see all of the ball. Thin hit to cut it towards the 4. Maybe he'll use the 4 to stop the cue. Well, we'll see what he's doing.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't dislodge the 2-9.
Oh, this is pretty slick.
Very nice. Tony's had some health issues, too, and he's really lost a lot of weight.
Well, I think that's why he's actually wearing the shorts, to be honest. He's got I'm very familiar with it. He's got a pretty rare skin disease, and He's not comfortable. So he has had some health issues. It's affecting him in his everyday life.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. A very pleasant guy to hang around with, huh? He doesn't get stressed about anything.
No, he doesn't.
Bank shot that could open up the 2 here. No, safety. And certainly probably the smarter play than being aggressive here.
Yeah, this first game could take a second if they keep executing, which is all right with me. I like it, being aware of the 8 there all along. Ooh. I don't believe he meant to cut it that much. Tony might take a look at this, though. Mark, I don't know if the 6 is impeding the path to the 2-9 or not.
Yeah. He almost has to pocket the 1 just out of the defensive shot would be so much more difficult.
He might be able to open him up. I don't know.
Yeah, if he goes soft. Nice. Very nice. Everything's pretty straightforward here. The 5 will be the ball on the side.
Yeah, the 3 to the 4. Just a little bit of a trick. I think he's falling okay.
Yeah.
Another look. It's just a flat ball. He played it natural into the bottom of the 9. Nicely done.
He's up here high where, the corner pocket scratches on, so now he's going to have to draw.
Watch out for any trouble over here. He's clear. And he's moved the 5.
Yeah. Got a lot done with that shot. Oh, ugly off the end rail, scratching the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it. He didn't either. I don't think he got into it enough or too much. One of the two, obviously.
Right. That'd be one of those shots where I could set up the balls just like they were and say, okay, if you make it 1 out of 10, you win the bet. And you probably couldn't do it.
Yeah, no kidding. I haven't seen a lot of Ruslan this week, just because it's probably the way the cards have fallen. You and I did a match with him on the 10-footer, and I felt like he wasn't at his best. I know that he's a great player, and it's great to see him back. So hopefully we get to see some good stuff from him.
Right. He won ugly against John Moore in his first set, and then his next set, he had moments of absolute brilliance, and then he followed it up with a couple of unforced errors that ended up costing him the match.
A little steeper than he'd liked here, but he should be okay.
I always marvel at Ruslan because he's got this deft touch, and he's a 100-ball runner in a straight pool. I mean, just a great talent, super shot maker. You do not see tall guys that play that well very often.
How tall is he, Mark?
6'7".
Yeah, very tall. He does not have a problem reaching.
No, the bridge will not be in much use with him. Game number 1, right here in front of him. Stop shot. 1-0. If there would be a knock on Tony's game, his one-pocket game is stellar. I just think he's just fantastic and creative and aggressive at the right times. Great banker. But it'd be his ball pocketing. Sometimes he falters just a little bit on the execution part of it, like the elite 9-ball players don't.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with the internals of the game of one pocket that he's played so much over time.
Mm-hmm.
The yip and the stroke will come up every now and then, and that's because of the different stroke within the game. That's my thought process anyway.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. When you're bunting balls and stuff, that's why I always tell my beginning students, don't play one pocket, because unless you're pretty sophisticated, you start decelerating, trying to just get balls over to your pocket, and it's not good for development.
Yeah, well, back in our era, unfortunately, there was no future in rotation, so
Right.
financially there was a lot of good reasons to play the game. Well, there were several million reasons
Well,
to
there
play
still
the game.
is. I mean, that's, one,
Yeah,
it's not lucky on the break, and you can kind
Yeah,
of
I'm
defend
talking
yourself.
right. I agree. I was just talking the money world before social media. That it was just so much better than the rotation games, and now at least we've got Matchroom and a lot of great things coming out. But I think I would never want my kid playing one pocket nowadays. It would be all rotation pool.
Well, one thing though, when I watch your game, you bank good. You got a lot of you're kicking good, and your thought process real good. So there's skills that translate into
Sure.
9-ball rotation. I think you need to be a complete player.
Oh, I like this play here. Really nice. Really fluid there.
Mm-hmm. I know. I was laughing earlier in the week. Tony just kind of lumbers around the table and real calm and slow. I'd love to see him play Gerson Martinez for the contrasted styles.
No kidding.
The one guy plays like his hair's on fire, and Tony, he lumbers around there like he just ate Pagulayan or something. That was a slow and high energy guy.
Yeah, and what a lot of people might not know is Tony's got a load of bandages on around the waist. He wears heavy-duty bandages due to his disease. They bleed a lot, and so I think that has a lot to do with his movements.
I see.
Well, I don't think. I actually know. Been trying to help him for a long time. I don't know that he can get it, though. The surgery is very expensive. I might as well just talk about it. I don't think Tony has a problem with it, because a lot of people know. Surgery is very, very expensive, and it's not 100% success rate by any means. So he's just living with it, doing the best he can right now. He looks like he's doing pretty darn good. Finals of the bank pool.
Yeah.
I think still in the one pocket, and running out in the 9-ball. Doesn't want to carry too
gorgeous.
close. Nice and tight.
1-1 is our score. So this would be considered like the first WNT tournament of the year for the Moscone Cup points.
Yeah, I know they had. I know they just had. They had one or two overseas.
I see.
In the States, this is definitely the first one.
And so, does this go out on WNT TV, or do you know? I don't know this.
I don't know. I know they're working on that. I know WNT TV is live now. I don't know if it's live as in live, or if it's recorded and played back. I'm not certain on that. But I will get the answer for you on that later this afternoon.
Well, it is astounding what Matchroom's done for the energy and pool. I mean, it's
the production levels second to none.
Even small pool rooms are starting to realize people more practicing, more involved. 9-foot tables more in demand.
No, I agree, Mark. I mean, this is the reason Federgors has made $500,000+ last year.
Right.
Emily Fraser and Matchroom, and the entire team at Matchroom are really, they just don't stop working. Long 1-ball to start this game off. Right in the heart. That's a great sign for Chohan. You just don't want to come too far here. Be careful of the 7. You're better off being short than too far, in my opinion. Nice and close. He's aware. That's why he overcut the ball. Looked a little hesitant again, Mark.
Yeah, it was one of those you got to spin it and try to hold the speed. I thought he might go 4 rails around and get around the 6 ball, and then that allows you to swing it a little bit nicer. But
Yeah, it's not a terrible play.
no, it's real hard to get tangled up. Little unanticipated bump and run there. No worse for wear. Turned out nice, straight in the corner. There was quite a bit of action last night. I know Carl Baum played a big set and lost, and then Oscar was playing, let's see,
Oscar
Jesus
Atencio.
Yeah. I know Oscar was way ahead when I went to bed, but then I heard that Atencio came back some.
Oscar was up 12-2. Ended up losing, I believe, 21-16.
There are some other matches, too. I mean, if you're in the area, this is definitely the place to stop by.
Yeah, Dominic Dunn and Carl Baum played for a new semi.
Yeah.
Dominic Dunn won 7 games to 3, I believe. I was there. Played perfect.
Okay, 2-1. Now our score here.
Fun to watch all the action here, though.
Yeah.
There's so much pool going on.
Every year, there's something going on.
Siberian Express leading 2 games to 1.
We've had really nice crowds here all week, and here we are in the middle of the week with another nice morning crowd. Good break. Is he going to get a shot? No, not a very good one. Be super thin to try to fan this in. Might be able to do so, though. He's going to take a look at it. Have to stretch way on out there, even if you're 6'7". Oh, he was able to handle that easily, so it wasn't quite as bad as I thought. He even went with inside spin and handled the cue ball nicely, speed-wise. Got Chuck Laird tuned in up in Monmouth, Illinois, or Macomb, Illinois. Kathy Krim, Buffalo, New York. Glad to have you guys alongside. Chris Salvo, Bridgeton, Missouri. Can see a big draw stroke here.
Oh, really good.
Didn't overhit it, and look how much action he had. Preserved a little bit of an angle. All good.
Yeah, that was just a center low ball directly along the line. Looks a lot more confident on the 9-footer. His pace was a little slower, I believe, on the 10-footer. Obviously, for obvious reasons.
Well, another thing that helps your comfort is when you pound these days in, day after day after day, you start getting dialed in, a little confidence up.
Going through the motions.
Good speed there. This would be the first break and run out of the set. 3-1.
Definitely having fun, too.
9 balls racked on the spot. Using the break box. The break box is bigger than it normally is. A lot of times it's 7 or 9 inches left or right of the head spot.
Yeah, I wonder if that's an error. Matchroom break box is from the diamond direct. You know, you'll see the center diamond, the right diamond, and left diamond are direct lines to the one. So
you're saying this
much
is
bigger. This is definitely much bigger.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if that was an
This
error.
comes right up the diamonds, when you look at it.
Yeah, it's definitely too wide.
Interesting. I didn't hear anything hit the pocket. Looks like it's going to be a dry break.
And is Tony going to get a look at the one? I believe he is. And a good look at that. He's just got to avoid the 3. I don't think he can. I think he can avoid the 3 without any problems. Just really tough here, though, because of the 6. Oh, he did warp into the 3.
Yeah, he needed high velocity, and then that cue ball holds that tangent line longer. And if he didn't have real effective spin, super high, it might, have a trajectory into that 3, just like you called.
He's going to kick deep behind this 2. He's typically great at it, but overhit it a little bit. Still did well. Didn't quite get deep enough on that ball. And that's a shot you do not have to hit too hard. Cue ball will hold regardless. Is the scratch on, Mark, if he tries to go forward? So does he have to avoid that top right corner? Is that the concern?
Yeah, and it's one of the. It's so close that you say, well, no, I can beat the scratch. Yeah, if you hit the pocket, but if you miss it, now the scratch is back in, and you have to anticipate both. So if it's close, these guys have to take it out of play for sure.
And he did.
What a nice shot that was.
He's going to end up in trouble, though. Pretty brutal rub off the purple 4, I believe.
Kind of acts like he can see it into the side. I'm not saying it's an easy shot.
Maybe he can.
It's not an easy shot, but...
Well, it makes a difference, though.
Yeah, he can possibly win.
Yeah, naturally takes him to the 4 as well. Oh, wow. Look at this. Another
light little nick, but he deserves it.
Another little love rub. Well, he's acting like he's got to dig into this a little.
Yeah. Might not be able to get position. Might just have to try to make this ball. That's what the story was. A thin cut in the side, no problem. But yeah, clearly what you said, he had to elevate, just slightly spin it, not much. That opening shot, what a straight shooter he was there on that shot.
Yeah, that was a big, long 1 ball there. Sent a message to Chohan. He needs to respond. This could get away from him.
Oh,
well, this
bizarre.
Is his chance right
how bizarre.
now.
He moved his upper body.
Saw it.
Yeah, coming forward on that stroke.
Like he lunged as he was going through contact. We haven't heard a lot from Ruslan. I know he kind of stepped aside for quite some time. It's great to see him back, but maybe a little issue in the confidence department still, which is understandable.
That's called ring rust, and he made so many good shots that the one that he's going to make, he let up just a little bit, kind of onto his next shot, but he forgot to make the one before it.
And Tony didn't want to end up straight. He will be okay, but anytime you introduce the rail, shooting a ball, it gives you a little better percentage of making the mistake.
And the big difference there now. 3-2 instead of 4-1.
Yeah, we did not expect the miss on the 6 there. Just that inside ball lunging forward.
How many years have you lived in Phoenix?
Since 99.
So, good 26 years, yeah.
Yeah, so I left when I was 24, and I've now lived there 26 years. So I've lived in Phoenix longer than I lived in Iowa. Scary, Mark, how fast time flies.
Yeah. Have they converted you into a Diamondbacks fan?
I've been a Diamondbacks fan almost since I got there.
Come on, the Des Moines Cubs.
I love the Iowa Cubs. Yeah, the Iowa Cubs were great. We used to watch those ball games every summer. My family would take us.
And now we're right at that edge of spring training, and there's so many teams that train all easy driving distance to you.
Yeah, there's a lot of great teams down there.
I love going to spring training.
And speaking of the Cubs have a beautiful training center down there in Mesa, Arizona. All right, well, it looks like he's going to the rollout here.
For a jump. Interesting.
Yeah, you see a lot of these guys doing that now, but this isn't a straightforward jump. He's got a lot of distance. If it was closer, it might be a little different story, but we couldn't fault Chohan for giving this up. Oh, he's seriously looking at it. Yeah, he's giving it up.
It's hard to make yourself play a full ball jump that has a pretty good penalty attached to it if you miss.
Yeah, especially linked to the table. And the reason the penalty is so strong is because you're so far away. I don't think you're going to get enough distance if you happen to miss it, like Mark just said.
Shout out to Bo Adams. He's tuned in. He says, ring rust. That's a new one. Well, that's a boxing term, meaning you haven't been in the ring for a while and you're a little rusty. Got right over it. Okay, 4 ball is going to be convenient. If he can get to it. Looks like he has to kind of twist that 1 ball in. I don't know, maybe he can fan it over there.
Yeah, you might have to swerve it in. The problem is the cue ball is going to be hot coming up towards these 4 balls up top. Well, he's done quite well, but the 5's going to just cover him up. Rail first now.
Yep.
Needs to wrap around, but watch the yellow and white 9.
Yeah, it's a large target over there. It's going to be hard to avoid it, too. Oh, good. He just went ahead with pace in case that did happen, that he had something to escape with.
Yeah, I think he earned that rub. Now he can stun towards the green 6 if he needs. Perfect.
Good shot.
Looking to come all the way down here.
I think just a stop shot and play it in the corner of the side, not moving the cue ball a great deal.
Yeah, just pinch it back. I think he will. Yeah. That 6 could prove to be a problem for Ruslan. Chohan definitely capable of putting a few racks together. Not saying he will. This format makes the game a little bit more difficult, which we enjoy. If it wasn't for this format, I don't think the players would be making what they're making. He's starting to get loose.
Good solid run out there. Well tied up 3 apiece.
the early birds in here watching some pool.
We still have, let's see, today's Thursday, so we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Still have 3 full days of action, plus the rest of this day.
Going to the cut break, looking to make the 1 on the side. He's cut those a little thin. The adjustments they make are for with speed and the thickness in which they hit the 1. Yeah. A little off-center, long, tough shot that was.
Yeah, it didn't have the effective spin on there either. Just kind of limp back at that speed.
Yeah, that's going to be short. Tony might get a look here, and he is. Pretty natural to get to the 3 if he can get it down. Just avoid the 5. If he wants to go up and down, he could come towards the 3. There's nothing wrong with that direction either. It's probably safer. Okay, just to avoid the 5 or just crash right into it. Either one will work.
Would have preferred the other, but he'll accept this. He's got a long travel here.
Now avoid the 8 and 9.
He forgot about the 4 here. Gotta giddy on up. That probably lent itself to pocketing that ball, but did not get his ideal position because now he's really going to have a tough transfer to get to the 5.
Might come to the short side or left side of the 5 here.
Yeah, takes 18 feet of travel, and he's only going to have about 14 feet of travel.
Quite a bit of body movement there. And a big, long stretch coming up. Like to tuck him behind the 6 and use the 8 and 9. I don't know if that's doable from where he is.
No, Tony, you're not that limber. Oh, maybe he is.
Yeah, he did pretty good, too, from where he was. Like a big hop.
It's kind of funny. Never thought he'd be that limber.
Going to the jump cue. So he did well, Chohan. Yeah, and the jump cue here, let's just say you pop this in, are the 8 and 9 a problem?
Even getting on the 6 will be a problem.
That's my point, right?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
are the 8 and 9 a problem?
Yeah, getting on the 6 was not that available with that jump cue.
Yeah. I don't know that you could have avoided a snooker on the 8 and 9 there if you make the ball.
Right. Pretty shot, no doubt.
That's where these elite players, the Gorse and Jason Shaws, they'll play jump safeties.
Mm-hmm. Is he trying to stun into it and stick it there? Is that... No, soft speed. Oh, nice, 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 nice. Very good. That's what was available. They had the highest percentage of positive result.
Yeah, do you cross the 6 under the 8 and 9 and go up behind the 7 and use all 3 of them?
Well, here's your answer. Yes, you do. Good shot.
think he was kind of playing a little bit of a two-way there. He made the 6. He had position.
Gonna have to try to super fan this ball. Just move it a diamond. That's the risk you run.
He super fanned it.
Yep, but that is the risk that you assume when you do that.
Yeah, and it looked like he used a touch of outside, and it makes fanning that ball so much more difficult.
Right. The benefit is you get a little more speed on the cue ball. It accelerates off the rails, so you get distance, but then, like Scott says, you have to project how much is that going to squirt at this speed with this much side spin.
Yeah, he's going to have to thump this. Well, thump it he did. He got more out of it than he ever dreamed.
Yeah.
Now, automatic to go into the 9.
Good shot.
He's a bank pool player, I heard.
We're going to have to test that out right here. This is not an easy shot. When you cut across it, it puts the wrong type of twist on the 9, so you have to purposely overcut it if you're going for the side. And it's all or nothing if you go for the side. He might be going cross corner. What do you think? Maybe twice cross.
Side.
Maybe
Just straight back under him here, Mark.
Okay. Good call. Good shot.
Yeah, no doubt. He had to really turn that ball and dig into it to beat the corner pocket. Chohan had an 860.
Very respectable. 850 and above is pro level. 37 balls to 26 balls. Both players with 6 errors. 4-3 Chohan in front. He has rallied from 3-1 behind. And Tony's going to opt for the other side of the break box. 3-1 is what he's playing. Neither one scored. Dry break. Boy, what a big side pocket and bank shot this is. You have tons of help over there.
Yeah, you really do, right? The 8's a big ball. The 3's a big ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
there's
like,
no way he's not going for it. It's just got way too much possibility.
Yeah, it's like a bushel basket. You can't pass this up, Mr. Chinakhov. Or Chinakhov. Chinakhov is a fighter, I believe. Ruslan Chinakhov is a fighter.
Depends if you're using Russian pronunciation or American. I hear it both ways.
Okay. Well, he didn't need any help.
No, he didn't. As pure as could be. Very nice. As the cue ball just floats in there where he can just roll the 3 in and come right down for the 4 ball.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to get dead straight on the 4. That'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Still a little tricky, it feels like.
Yeah, you can go rail first if you don't feel confident with the stun up.
Yeah, that was always the concern. He was probably a little worried about going too far and let up right there a little bit. Should be okay. He's just going to have distance on the 6. Or a little more distance. Unless he wants to wrap around the top left corner. 3 rails. Looking to kill this ball with an inside.
Great job there. Yeah, just that touch inside, and really checked it up, checked the speed out of the cue ball, and hit that long rail. Came out a little further than he really needed. Now he may have to draw all the way back.
Yeah, he might have to draw to the short side. Might be a good thing, really. It's awkward getting on that 8 to the top left corner, so maybe a good thing.
Yeah, maybe he played it this way too.
True.
Because getting from the 8 to the 9 was going to be treacherous the other direction, and this way it plays. Now the cue ball's coming forward.
Yeah, very natural now. And I think easier to make the ball, especially the way he hit it.
Yeah, I think it was by design where he got the cue ball as opposed to I was thinking, he inadvertently overhit it. He actually hit it perfect. High quality run out there, and we're all tied up at 4 apiece. Years ago, prior to you being on the scene so much, we used to have a real tour. And one of it was the PBT, Professional Billiards Tour, then later on it was the Camel Tour.
Yeah, this is prior to my time, right? I caught just the end of the Camel Tour.
We would have 12 to 20. One year we had 21 tournaments, and they were high quality, the top of the line back then, which was 20,000 added, 300 entry fee, and all the top tier players. And what that produced, and it was real interesting. Today's players, top 8 American players, probably play a little better than our top guys back then because of the technology. But you go down to player number 60, he can beat player number 3 in a match. It was so much deeper. Like Ernesto Dominguez would be 48, and
I was around.
David Howard, and my goodness,
I agree.
Larry Hubbard.
I say this a lot. The depth of the players back then were much higher. Even I think my era was probably the last of that. But even in my era, we didn't just have 5 or 6 top players, but we had 40 more that could beat those 5 or 6 top players anytime. All from America.
It was really a fun time to play because it was so competitive, but it was because we had a number of years of that. So
there was money flowing.
Every month you have a target. You got a match to play. You have to be on your peak form.
And I keep going back to it. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased, but Matchroom, wow, all right, but he's snookered. Matchroom doing everything they can with the ranking events throughout the United States and adding majors and U.S. Opens and Barry Berman's U.S. Open, then what Pat Fleming is doing, it's a combination of the partnerships and everybody working together, hopefully. I know that Raw Hanna is out there working diligently with the juniors, all the work you've done with the juniors, and hopefully one day this sparks wide open. I think we're right there.
Well, that was the reason I brought it up. Is that I'm seeing growth for the first time in a long time. It's starting to kind of go back, the pendulum back towards what I was talking about back then. I wish it had continued because now we'd be, super solid.
Yeah, there were a few bumps in the road. It happens.
Starting to see some flashes of brilliance, and then it really inspires the players to work harder, too.
Yeah, you see a lot of great parents behind the juniors nowadays too. It's not that dark pool room where you're gambling and having to do things to make money. They're going the right direction, which I think is a big positive. Nice and deep out of the corner there.
What a good job to hit that ball.
Tied the 5 up. Tony gonna have a good look at the 2, but the 4 to the 5 is really trouble.
If you can pick up an angle here, you can attack the 5 ball off the 3 rather than wait to try to get because the 4-ball doesn't really lend itself to getting the 5 out.
I really like that play. I don't know if he got too steep here, but he could have got the line where he's going 2 rails to the top side of the 8, just nudge the 5 open in front of the corner and play the 4 on the side. It sounds easy. Now he can go 1 rail at him.
Yeah, and you can go ahead and hit this. Well, he didn't. Oh, this is very odd. Very odd. To allow it to get that close to a scratch just to get this ugly combination.
He's a 1-pocket player. He must like it.
Here we go. Oh, hit it pretty good, though.
He did hit it pretty good. Just a tick wide.
If you make the bank, the 5 will get loose. But if you miss the bank, the 5 will get loose.
Yeah, no
Right?
doubt. Yeah, he might just cut the. Well, I don't know if you can hold the 4. And there's another look. The 9 just a touch wide.
Boy, he hit that good.
Can he get behind the 9 here?
Yeah, that'd be good. Oh, nice. Gorgeous shot. Oh, don't leak out on him after that. Yeah, great play.
Yeah, that was naughty. Very, very naughty.
Now, this is a pretty interesting shot here. This is the Efren 2 cushion, super slow. So if you falter, you don't sell out. You know, just hey, even you're willing to take a foul, that type of shot. Yep. Giddy on up. Quiet. Oh, I think he might have opened it just. No, maybe not. Hard to tell with the overhead, but he's certainly going to have a good safety play if he doesn't have a shot on the 4.
Yeah, and the 4, I think, plays. If not, we'll see.
Yeah, I kind of hope it doesn't play.
Well, it doesn't. We got the
I want to
wish.
see the back and forth here now.
Problem is, moving the 4 up table, I'd be thinking about something a little more clever, like wedging between the 5 and 8 here, just shooting the 4 past the 5. Here's the problem. Well, there is no problem. He's moved the 8. Problem averted. I wanted him to keep it close, so it was easy to open those balls up, but
Yeah.
he did that within the safety. What about kicking 1, 2, 3 behind the 4 mark? I know he's elevated over the 5, but
no, that's a great path. It gives you a huge target over there, and Tony figures to hit this. Yeah.
he almost hit it great. Very tough over the 5 like that.
Though, to get any separation because you can't get power on the cue ball comfortably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to hit it and hope that you hit it solid and they separate in such a way that all there is a bank or a safe. Instead, this time he hit it and it's going to be straight in.
So what line? Does he just come way out to the center like where he is now to make sure he gets a look at the 5?
Oh, yeah. He's not going to try to... Oh, I wouldn't think he tries to stay down table and go between the 7-8.
Nicely done.
Oh, smooth. Yeah, very nice. Now, this is a little dicey. You go 3 rails inside spin. If you try to go back and forth, it's kind of dangerous.
I think he's going to draw this and beat the side pocket.
Okay, well, he's got to watch out for the other side pocket then. Yeah, that's the side pocket over here. Did he get there? I think. Yeah, perfect. Well, I shouldn't say that. The overhead camera makes it look better than when I look down on the table. It's slightly different, so.
Yeah, it's a little steep, but I think to your defense, it's definitely doable.
The position here. Now he's got to draw back behind the other side pocket and come back across.
Well, he's done very, very well from there.
Yeah, made it look just automatic. Nice shot.
Yeah, real easy to get way too long and awkward on the 8 there, so he did well. One more good shot. Oh, and he's got it down.
And we got a battle going on here. It's 5-4. Chinakhov with a nice run out there. 4-4.
Chohan at an 800. Chinakhov 854.
using the Outsville racking template here, the Accu-Rack. Always innovating and working to make them better. I love it because it gives you fairness. The knock against it would be once in a while after the break, there's a ball moving slowly and it will slightly distort that ball. But the advantage is everybody gets the same rack. No longer like the old days where you'd shake hands and the other guy would say, "May the best racker win."
Oh, what a
brutal
kiss on the side.
Look at this.
Yeah, take another look at this break.
Yeah.
Wow, the 8 had other plans for snow.
If I was Tony, I would seriously look at putting the 2 between the 3 and 4 and just let the cue ball trickle down table.
I like that. I like it a lot. That'll just jailhouse him.
Yeah, you can
That's
do it from
really
here.
not nice. It really isn't nice, Mark.
Uh-huh.
You've got bad intentions.
Well, you want to win. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yes.
For winning's sake.
I'm a little surprised why he doesn't just chip it between the 3 and 4.
He'll be on 2 fouls, and then if you don't get anything, he's going just wide open. Yeah, that's the problem with this. You might not even get a good shot from it.
Well, that's his style. Everything is wide open.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, now you can just go ahead and topspin into the 4 if you're comfortable. Or you'll just tuck it up next to the 3.
I like going into the 4.
Yeah, he did too. Good job.
I like to actually, I know it's great, but I like to actually go in a little firmer, right? Opening, you can afford to open the 4 up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good hit. And a little reward, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's makeable. You're not going to be able to get anything for position. This is just roll it in.
Yeah, but we could, if Tony doesn't proceed to win this rank, we could go back to ball in hand, where he had a really good look at playing safe on the 2. When Chinakhov was already on 1 foul. Don't like to drudge on the negative, but we want to look at why they win and lose games, and I think that is a key factor in this game.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people watching want to learn too. It's minimizing unforced errors or putting your man in uncomfortable positions. And both of those things could have happened.
Can he cut the 2 towards the 3 mark and use the 7 and 4?
He could.
Don't come all the way down to the 6, right? Just kind of float out towards the center. You don't have to hit this real hard. The inside English will help you.
And the speed that you're going to have the 2 get to the 3 is the speed that you want to get the cue ball out. So you don't have to do anything extra. Just think of the speed that you want that 2 to get to the 3.
Is he banking at this? Wow.
Wow, that's wide open.
Sure is.
When you see a long cross-corner bank played as a kind of a win-or-lose proposition, well, you just don't see that elite world-class 9 ball.
No, you really don't. These guys aren't going to play that. It's just too low percentage.
And then here we are watching like a 22-year-old Labutus win the 10-ball thing, and he never gave an open inning like this, ever.
They'd never take a chance, him or Moritz.
Yeah, Newhausen. That's right. Boy, they just played lockdown, and then get out.
Both World 9-Ball Tour pros, and I think that to your point, Mark, if they come over and play all these games, they're just going to get better, right? They're playing the bank pool, they're playing the 1 pocket. Well, that just helps your defense. And they really learn the all-around aspects of the game, and I think they were here last year, and that probably is what's helped them a ton.
And they were at the International Open,
and
finishing
the International
high,
Open,
and they're really getting their feet wet.
Yeah.
Both young guys, both of them are 22, I believe, and then Pat Ser's, he's not 27 or something, right? He's another one with a big upside.
Oh, Vitali, and he's really come on in the last year. It's going to go too far. It's just a little bit of experience that you can't get overseas with the mix of the games. And it really does kind of well round your game up a little bit. Yeah, I heard Jason Sword actually talking about it to somebody yesterday. He thinks that this personal event helped Fedor Gorsk's game all around, make him such a much better player more than anything else. And I tend to agree. I think this game is vital to really start to understand every aspect within the game of 9-ball.
So there's transitional skills from each one, no doubt. And when you're emphasizing bank pool or one pocket, and it stuns, like what Boosty does, the power stun forward, but blast the ball into the stack, and a lot of tools that come up at various times. And some of those little safety nuances, also come up where you get exposure to it. Just wide open, that's always kind of been what hurt the American 9-ball players, is our players go on a little short break here, score 5-5.
Neither one really dialing the break in yet.
Two balls, the wing ball and the one ball went in the side, and Tony did not overhit that rack either to get both balls. Just kind of half speed, square hit.
Yeah, he did cut him, but not near as much, right? He's been catching it way too thin, so that was a big adjustment there.
Good shot. Got over there for the 4 in the corner. That will give him a good bit of control on the cue ball now, because it's a pretty straightforward impact on the 4. Yeah, good.
Yeah, there's nothing slowing him down here, Mark. Do you go to the side? I like just stopping or pinching back. You just don't want to come too far if you do go to the side with the 7.
And that's the deal. Nothing wrong with what you said, but he's had more angle than we thought.
Much more.
Yeah, he was able to easily get out here for this.
Which is always what you want. You want to always carry some type of an angle. Pros would rather have an angle on their final ball than be straight in.
High quality break and run out here for his first one of the set. Both players now have a break and run out. Chohan moves in front, 6-5. Another look at the TPAs. Chohan now with a 16-ball advantage in total balls pocketed. But Tony also has 3 more errors. Okay, back to the same spot. The 2's on the corner, 1's on the head. Those are the ones he tries to make.
On table 39.
Didn't overhit it. 2 ball on the 1 again. Found the mark. The 3 ball settles into the end rail, so he'll have a likely defensive play here coming.
Yeah, what the heck? He's made a big adjustment on the break. There is no 3-point rule, I guess.
I think he's going to be good with this one. I never liked that 3-point rule. I always thought it was stupid. It Sometimes there'd be a guy make 2 balls. I'd be sitting in the crowd, and then the referee would say it was a non-complying break because the third ball didn't cross the head string. But the guy sitting next to me goes, "Well, why? I don't understand." And I go, "I know. It's bad when your fans don't understand what they're watching, and none of them play those rules."
Agreed. So I'm not a huge fan of the 3-point rule either, but I do think, typically on the WNT, you got to give it your best effort, right? No soft breaks, because if you soft break and guarantee the one, then really it can get a little ugly. Corey Deuel, 11-0 in the finals of the U.S. Open 9-ball many years ago by powder puffing them. Good for him. He's a genius. He figured it out. That's where the 3-point rule really came from. And I think that's gone away a little bit, but they want you to hit him. I don't know that Tony's doing it intentionally. He's trying to work on his accuracy, I believe. Boy, you had an option to push here, right? Or
Yeah.
no? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
To your point about the break, though, okay, if I'm playing golf and there's a lake out there and I say, I'm not driving that lake, I'm going to lay up and then I'll hit a long shot. You don't regulate the speed, and then anytime you make a rule that has subjectivity to it, such as, well, he didn't hit him as hard as he could, it's a bad rule. That's all, because now where do you draw the line? How do you define it?
Well, I could, yeah.
To me, if Corey Deuel can make the wing ball or the 1 ball, breaking soft, you get the chance. Why don't you practice and make the same shot? It's alternate the break anyway.
Yeah, then the problem of the format, I mean, it's a good debate to have. The problem of the format now comes into play, right? They're making the format difficult so that you can't break them soft and get straight in every time. If the elites, if you watched FSR, just soft break these balls, nobody'd get to the table because he's so accurate with it. And he can play position on any ball that's racked within the rack. They're so good at that. That's why they've gone from racking the 2 to the back to now random, because they're really figuring out where every single ball goes, and that can become a problem. So therefore, they're asking these guys to hit them at their best pace so that doesn't come into play. Now, to your point, I totally get it, and I don't disagree.
No, it's really a testimonial when you have to constantly tinker with the rules that this is the wrong game for pros to play. This
is why Matchroom, and I agree, I'm not disagreeing, this is why Matchroom's gone to 4-inch pockets. It completely changes the game, and this is where tactical parts of the game really show up, and I think that's by far, and I'm passionate about it, I'm very passionate about it, I think it's by far the best move that's ever been made for 9-ball pool, because you are correct. Without that, the game is broken. It's too easy for these guys. But add 4-inch pockets into it really changes things, especially on this beautiful diamond table.
Yeah, the consistency rate of the players and the equipment is now conspired to make 9-ball kind of a broken game. They're just too darn good. But you know what I would love? 15-ball rotation. Now, it's not good for the fans, but for the
TV.
players, man, you got to do. It doesn't matter about the break. You got to do some playing. I don't care if you make 3 balls in the break. You got to do some playing.
Agreed, and that's what all the Filipinos play over there.
Yeah, I love that game. But it used to be, I was always told straight pool is the very best game for your game, blah, blah, blah. And that's what it was when I began. But then after I got to playing 15-ball rotation with the Filipinos, I learned, holy moly, there's so many more shots in this. Well, we're all tied up at 6. Race to 3 from here. Chinakhov breaking. Tony took a little bit of a reckless chance on that 1 ball last time and had to pay the price, but he didn't have to pay the ultimate price because he's going to get back to the table.
Yeah, I thought it was
losing 1.
Yeah, I thought it was an extremely reckless chance to fly at a kick that was really not straightforward.
Yeah, it had very little wind to it.
Right.
It was just a kick to hit it. It was almost, it was just a little bit careless or sloppy.
Ruslan still catching the 1 just way too thin. So it just tells me he's just kind of getting back on the scene, hasn't really practiced this break much, which is understandable. And where he lives, who knows who's over there that's helping him, right?
Yeah, maybe nobody.
Right.
The one thing that I would say, at this score juncture, I think Tony's got a little edge here because he's starting to get zeroed in on that break, and he's a good enough player that if he gets the ball down on the break and gets a shot, he's going to hurt you.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, if he doesn't make the egregious errors kicking a ball when he's got a push option, I think he does win, even though we're now just playing a short race to 3.
Oh, and the other guy's a very capable player that can beat anybody a race to 3. I'm not saying that. I just saying I like kind of like the way Tony's been breaking, because it was a little bit like Van Boning when that racked the 9 on the spot to take away the wing ball. He worked at it and learned to make the 1 and the wing ball. It was just amazing when I watched him do it, and repetitively.
And a little steeper than he liked here. Can he kill this? I think so.
And to Shane's credit, he said on my radar gun, I want it 19 to 21 mile an hour, and I want the cue ball to come over here between the second and third diamond halfway. And then he would step up there and make the corner ball and the side pocket, or one ball 3 times in a row.
Sure.
Like, this is no joke. And it did help the other Moscone Cup guys, but no one could hit it as good as Shane, because he practiced it so much. He was so consistent with that hit, but he showed them, and it did help everybody else too. But Shane was the boss on that. Nice out there. 7-6 is our score.
No, Jeremy Jones, Carl, we all talk about Shane's break, and to your point, especially in the cut break, it really shows up. There's nobody that can time the ball better. And with, he actually hits it with more power than any of these other guys. At 21 mile an hour, when you're cut breaking, it's very, very easy to lose the cue ball. Not only lose it, but lose it off the table. Okay, Ruslan talking to Ken Schumann, possibly about how soft he hit the last break. I didn't have a problem with the one prior, but this one was a little bit soft. Okay. Nothing even got really past the side pockets. So just give it a little bit more, T-Rex.
Yeah, okay, I detest it. Now we got subjectivity. Oh, he didn't try hard enough. It's ludicrous. Well, got the 2 ball down. The 1 ball didn't score.
Yeah, he cut that real thick. The 1 went way past the side.
Yeah, if the referee has to say try to bring the speed up to what?
No, and I get it, right? I get it. I think that's a valiant effort, what he just did there. I mean, you don't have to hit him 25 mile an hour, and you don't have to hit him 17, but just give it your best.
Okay. Well, we're going to have a little sparring here. He did push out that time.
Yeah, no doubt. He learned his lesson. Yeah, where do you go here? This is awkward, not straightforward. I guess, can he miss the 8 and bank the 1 towards the 3?
If you get the 1 on the end rail, that's usually a good deal, because you're not going to easily be able to just play cue ball. No, nice job. Nice job.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Now, for it to turn out like this, it also suggests it wasn't a great push out. You want to tangle something up. You want to make a kick that, it's going to be hard to run out from.
I don't mind the jump cue there. If he can draw it towards the 3, a lot of good things can happen. You get safe under the 6, sending distance on the 1. I don't know about kicking at this. It's tough. Fire alarm has been pulled again, but
yeah, the fire alarm goes off, but nobody leaves. We just stay right in the booth.
Nobody even acts like it's going off.
We're actually hoping for a little bit of warmth in this room.
Yeah, no kidding. You just want some type of an angle here. Don't overdraw it due to the 6.
Have you been outside at all, Scott?
Yeah, I was just outside.
It's warmed up now. We were up to like 26 degrees this morning when I got up and went out. Yesterday it was 10.
Yeah, we've got a warm front.
All right.
Or a heat wave. Well, this match just seems to be going down to the wire.
It sure does. Yeah. No pause, just a little
Real quick,
reckless. And
right?
well, it wasn't even that. There was no pause. And
That's what I mean.
Kind of
Yeah.
carefree, casual. And to your point earlier, it just seems like he's just out of his rhythm. He's not back yet, not really dialed in. What a huge rack that is.
Yeah, and his energy. I remember
Yeah.
Ruslan really being kind of a quick-paced, upbeat player.
Yeah.
Like really in each match, and I haven't seen that this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his body language hasn't looked like he's totally focused on it either.
You know, and I sympathize with him because it can be painful when you're caught between what you want to do and what you're doing. So we hope.
Yeah, he's capable
this
of
gets
more
better.
for sure. We've
Yes.
seen that.
Oh, yes.
So. All right, Tony Chohan moves to the hill here at 8.
Yeah, so they told him to hit him a little bit harder, and there's nothing wrong with that, but he lost his accuracy completely, and that's something we talk about a lot. When you're trying to hit him with speed, that's why Shane Van Boning is so good. There's a good look at Ruslan. He's just not exuding any positivity at the moment.
And that emboldens your opponent too. When they see the shoulders are slumped and you're looking down, then the guy, he looks like he wants to go tip over. So
yeah, a little thick again. But he's making the wing ball with that hit now. Take another look. Watch the 8. Goes directly in. That's from a square hit versus the cut as much. Really forcing the corner ball through.
boy, this layout would have been nice if he would have had a nice shot there and say that 3 was missing somewhere else.
Yeah, he'd love to have that 3 over about 3 inches.
Now Tony's considering rolling the 9 ball down on the 7. No, not even fooling with that. No, I'm leaving close. Just
And this push out's okay.
yeah.
Does have an option though. I feel like, I know it sounds a little bit haphazard, but he could cut this to the top right. He's got protection with the 5 and 6 if he wanted to swing all the way around. I'm sure there's something easier.
I think Tony was planning on fanning the one over just below the 5 and back to the end rail. Oh, this is good. Maybe.
No, yeah, I like it, Mark. Might have caught the gap, though. Tony, if you can see any of the one, he'll cross corner this ball and play it 2 ways. You can cross it to the high side of the lower right long rail.
Yeah, and get distance, and a lot of times that one ball settles on the end rail as the cue ball travels to the other end of the table.
Might be able to see all of it, though. The English he's using suggests he can. And now he looks like he's swerving or something. Oh, he was completely snookered.
Not bad. Not bad. Got him tree-topped on the 4. Super thin cut on the 1, if he can even see it.
Yeah, I don't think
Maybe
he can, Mark.
Yeah, so real good shot by Tony then.
Yeah, can he kick 2 rails behind the 1? Is the 6 a problem here?
No, he can definitely do it. The side spin will open up off that second rail.
Was he using a low ball? I think you want to use a high ball. That's what will stop the cue ball here a little bit more.
Right. Oh, he just is a rolling ball hit, as it turned out. All right, well, Tony's got a chance to capture the match here. This is a nice distribution of balls to run out.
Elevating, so he's going to avoid the 2. past the 9. That's not the problem. Really 2 good shots away here. If he gets good on the 5, this should be over. Well, it wiped its feet, but it did drop.
Yeah, I think he was trying to bump into the 3 deliberately, and that, that maybe made him hit that ball a hair thin.
Now does he go into the 5 a little bit? Oh, nice. Maybe nice. This could get awkward, actually.
Don't get on the rail. The only place that you really are in trouble. And he's really in trouble.
I think he can force it, Mark. It looks like he's got a little more angle than we think. He's going to come 2 rails out under this ball. Yeah.
Oh, pretty. The inside position play. He couldn't stun it up there. It was too flat. Yeah, pretty heady. Now if we can just go side rail here. That looks pretty nice. Oh, filtered in there perfect. Left him just a hint of it's a little flat, isn't it? He can just roll ahead to the second diamond, cut in the 7.
Yeah, the key here is just carrying that angle.
Going with inside spin.
Yeah, it's a little easier to miss it. You could just come 1 rail up.
Beautiful. Match ball here for Chohan. And he defeats a very tough opponent in Ruslan Chinakhov. They're talking a little bit.
Yeah, Ruslan might have said a little something about the break here near there, but Tony's kind of figured it out. We'll see how he does going forward. I know it's big for him, Mark. He's in the running for the all-around.
Yeah, that is a big match to get by there. That was his second round in the 9-ball. Okay, we want to thank everybody for joining us today. This has been ACCUSTATS, the worldwide leader in billiards programming. That's our time for this time. And until next time, so long.